Can everyone hear me okay? All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Chris. I'm very happy to be here with y'all tonight. Chris didn't mention, but I was part of Houston Chinese Church for a long time, and I consider it my spiritual home for many years, and really appreciate the community we have here. And I hope the sessions tonight and throughout the weekend at the Senior Care Conference will be beneficial for you and your family, whether currently or in the future. So we'll go ahead and start my talk on essentials for healthy aging. For this talk, I have three main objectives. First, I will be talking about some normal physical changes that come with aging. Second, I'll be going over 7 lifestyle strategies for maintaining healthy aging. And third, I'll be going over recommendations for health screenings and vaccinations. So first, let's talk about normal aging. As we all know, aging is inevitable for everyone, but aging affects everyone to different degrees, depending on many different factors that includes your genetics, the environment, and some of your medical conditions. So you may see someone who is 80 years old who looks like they're 60 years old, or vice versa, someone who is 60 who looks like they could be 80 years old. So there's many variabilities in the way people age. Just keep that in mind as we discuss some of these changes. So as we grow older, the number of cells in our body naturally decreases with time. And this affects our body at many different levels. So I will talk about some general changes that occur within a few of our major organ systems. So first, I will start from the top in our brain. Oh, sorry, the slides is not showing up, sorry. So it was supposed to be a diagram of body, but that's okay. So on the top from our brain cells decreases naturally as we age, and sometimes memory loss can occur with aging. Normally, our brain can still compensate for these changes by increasing the number of connections between the cells, but some of the normal aging changes we can feel is slower recalling of information, like names, and also increased effort to learn or store new information. We can also have changes in our eyes and our ears. In our eyes, we'll have decreased peripheral vision and a decline in ability to see certain colors. Hearing loss in our ears is also very common in the elderly. In fact, about a third of adults older than 65 will have some degree of hearing loss, and that's mostly impacted by hearing like high-pitched sounds. Moving on to the cardiovascular system in the heart, our blood vessels lose some of their elasticities with age. There can be fatty deposits that build up in the arteries, and your heart will have to work harder to pump blood throughout your body. This is especially true when you're exercising. In our digestive system, our swallowing and digestive reflexes can slow down and makes it harder to swallow, and sometimes it's more at risk for aspirating. And that means the food particle is going down the wrong pipe, the windpipe, into your lungs. Our secretions to digest food is also reduced as we age, and that can result in more constipation. In our muscles, our aging can lead to a decrease in our lean muscle mass and build up a more fatty deposits in the muscles, and that results in the muscles losing their strength and flexibility. In our bones as well, they shrink in density with age, resulting in bone issues like osteoporosis or osteopenia. And joints can also become more stiff and less flexible. In our skin, as we age, the skin becomes thinner. They're more dry and less elastic. And sun damages over time can increase the wrinkles and age spots in the skin. Now, I know hearing about all these changes may seem somewhat overwhelming for some of us. As I said before, aging can affect everyone to different degrees, and there are things like our genetics that can't be changed, but there's also different lifestyle strategies that we can change that will help you age in a healthier way. So in our next section, I'll be discussing 7 key lifestyle strategies that will help you age in a healthier way. The first and the most important lifestyle strategy is regular physical exercises. This is the best strategy. If you take anything from this session, remember to regularly exercise. So regular exercise not only help people live longer, but they also help them live better by preventing or delaying many health issues. There are two main different types of exercises, aerobic and anaerobic exercises. Aerobic exercises are what we commonly consider cardio exercises. They're like walking briskly, running, swimming, these type of exercises. The anaerobic exercise is what we consider muscle strengthening exercises. So for example, weightlifting, pull-ups, push-ups, these are all kind of weight or muscle strengthening exercises. Both of these type of activities are very beneficial. I recommend it to be done on a regular basis. Next, this is a very helpful infographic taken from the physical activity guidelines from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. In general, we recommend adults to exercise at least 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity aerobic exercises. You can break that down into different days. For example, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. If you prefer more vigorous aerobic activities like running or swimming laps, you can also just do 75 minutes a week of this more vigorous activities. We also recommend at least 2 days a week doing some type of muscle strengthening exercise, or what I refer to as anaerobic exercises of some kind of weightlifting or push-ups or pull-up exercises 2 days a week. For certain older adults that have balance issues, we also recommend regular exercises to improve their balance as well. Now, if you look at these times and you say to yourself, I'm not able to meet these goals right now, and that's okay. Some activities is better than no activities. So try to move more, sit less throughout the day, and even a few minutes a day of light activity can be beneficial for your health. And as we're discussing exercise in general, it's also important for everyone to remember to exercise safely. Make sure you're warming up and cooling down to prevent injuries from exercises. Exercises also have been proven to have many benefits for aging. It helps promote your blood flow and decrease risk for cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, diabetes, and certain types of cancers. It also helps boost up your mood and can help reduce depression and anxiety. Certain muscle strengthening exercises, resistance training, will also build up your muscles, no matter how old you are. And it can also help build up your bones as well and prevent conditions like osteoporosis. Exercises will also reduce the risk for falls and reduce the risk of injuries from falls like fractures or breaking another bone. It will also have benefits for your cognitive health, improving kind of your overall thinking and prevent onset of dementia. And exercise has also been proven to help with your sleep as well. This slide, I just wanted to highlight a few of the exercises that you can do. In the first slide, I wanted to highlight swimming because it's a really great aerobic exercise that uses many different muscle groups. It's also great for older adults who suffers from joint disease, arthritis, or back pain. Oftentimes, it will be easier for them to exercise in the water. Secondly, I also wanted to highlight table tennis or ping pong. It's a very popular activity and also requires more socialization with other players, which will be beneficial for older adults. The same for kind of social dancing or ballroom dancing. It can be a fun activity. Also, you get to socialize again with other people. In the following picture, I just wanted to highlight this gentleman who's in a wheelchair with a dumbbell. I just wanted to highlight for older adults who are wheelchair-bound or bed-bound, there's still activities and exercises that you can do, either with dumbbells, weights, or body weight exercises. Definitely don't stop exercising. And in the last picture, this is a picture of Tai Chi. I wanted to highlight this especially because Tai Chi has many positions and movements that focus on balance. And research has actually shown that Tai Chi reduces falls in older adults. So for older adults who's at risk for falls or have history of falls, I would highly recommend for them to try Tai Chi to improve their balance. And the second strategy I will discuss is a healthy diet. So making smart food choices will help protect you from certain health problems as you age. As older adults, they often need fewer calories, but they need more nutrients, which makes it essential for them to eat what we consider nutrient-dense foods. These are foods that are rich in vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients with little added sugars, saturated fat, and sodium. I wanted to highlight the My Plate diagram on the right. So a healthy diet usually consists of portion, nutrient-dense foods and beverages. Generally recommend at least half your plate to be fresh fruits and vegetables, about a quarter of whole grains, and that can be brown rice or whole wheat pasta, and about a quarter of protein. That's usually like lean meats or seafood, eggs, beans, etc. We also recommend kind of a regular intake of dairy products that's fat-free or low in fat. Try to limit foods and beverages that are high in added sugars, saturated fat, and sodium. So examples are like cookies, cakes, ice cream, soda, things like that that can be providing what we call empty calories. They're very high in calories but have very few nutrients. Also try to limit your alcohol intake. So for adults, no more than 2 drinks a day for men and no more than 1 drink a day for women. Alcoholic beverages also have the empty calories. They have calories but very few nutrients. There are also certain older adults with medical conditions like liver diseases, cirrhosis, or dementia, memory issues. They shouldn't be drinking at all. Also, remember for older adults to stay hydrated. As you get older, your sense of thirst, you may not be as strong, and oftentimes they forget to drink fluids consistently, especially when they're exercising. So just remind them to drink fluids throughout the day. There are many different types of diet out there. I just wanted to highlight a few that's been more researched thoroughly. These are the Mediterranean diet, DASH diet, and the MIND diet. So the Mediterranean diet consists of mostly fresh produce, some healthy fats, and more fish than the traditional American diet. A DASH diet is more of a low-salt diet that's been shown to be helpful to lower your blood pressures. And the MIND diet is sort of a combination of Mediterranean DASH diet that's been shown to be helpful for cognition and memories. In this slide, I just wanted to show a highlight of some simple food changes that you can make that may make a big difference in your nutrition. So these are some few of the examples of changes that you can make. So first, instead of getting a frosted shredded wheat, you can get a plain shredded wheat. Instead of getting a full-fat yogurt, you can try to get a plain low-fat yogurt and add some fresh fruit. Instead of getting a regular canned beans, try to get a low-sodium version of the beans and replace your butter with vegetable oils. Don't forget how much calories you consume in beverages, like soda, that have a lot of sugar and calories. Try to replace that with healthier alternatives like sparkling water. Now, our healthy diet has many proven benefits. They include reducing the risk of heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, and certain types of cancer. The MIND diet, as I mentioned before, has also been shown to improve the overall cognition and slow your cognitive or memory declines. Healthy diet is also an essential part of any weight loss routine. As you know, obesity is a problem in America that can contribute to many medical problems, and healthy diet is a key part in any weight loss routine that you may have. Healthy diet also contributes to a healthier gut microbiome. And as we're getting to know more about microbiome, we know that it's a very important part of your body, and it helps control your digestion and benefits your immune systems. If you want to learn more about a healthy diet, I highly recommend checking out this free dietary guidelines for Americans from the USDA. It's online for free. It's a booklet of a lot of information for nutrition, and you can feel free to browse that to learn more about how to get a healthy diet. As we're talking about nutrition, I also wanted to briefly talk about supplements. Now, our research studies do not support routine use of multivitamins, vitamin D, or omega-3 fatty acids for relatively healthier older adults in the community. Supplements can also have side effects and interactions with certain medications, and too much of some vitamins and minerals can also be harmful for you. However, if you are found to be vitamin deficient, you can take certain targeted vitamin supplements under the direction of your doctors, and they can also monitor your vitamin levels to make sure that you're at a good level. I also wanted to mention herbal supplements. Our research so far have not shown any clear benefits for herbal supplements. They can also have interactions with medications and can have harmful side effects. Remember, just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's safe. Also, it's good to be reminded that dietary supplements are not regulated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration or the FDA. So just because the products are being sold in the stores doesn't mean that it's safe, does what the bottle says, or even contains what it says. So keep that in mind. In general, it's a good rule of thumb that your primary source of nutrition should be from healthy foods. The healthy foods contains essential vitamins, minerals, fibers, and other naturally occurring substances that are not found in the pills. The third strategy I want to mention is to focus on your mental wellness. As you know, mental health is an essential part of your overall health and quality of life. And older adults are especially susceptible to becoming socially isolated and lonely. They're also more at risk for stress and can have higher cortisol levels in their blood. It's important for them to stay positive, try to reduce their stress levels, and increase their emotional stabilities. There are many different ways to do this. One way is through prayer and meditation. It's a practice that can help you self-reflect, can help you practice being thankful, and as a Christian, can be reminded of God's promises and hopes in your life. Another way to boost up your mood is through exercise, and that can help increase endorphins in your body and put you in a good mood. If you do struggle with mental health issues, please do seek professional help as well. And mental health professionals can provide additional therapies and medications that can help improve your mental health. Uncontrolled depression, anxiety, and stress has risk associated with them. They increase the risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, especially in older adults, and they can also put you at risk for dementia as well. They also increase your digestive issues and can lead to recurrent headaches or migraines, and they can also lead to different sleep disorders. The fourth strategy I want to mention is for older adults to participate in social activities. Spending time in leisure activities and hobbies that you enjoy can be very meaningful and fun. So some examples of social activities are music, theater, and more physical activities like dancing or in a sports club, and more cognitive activities like being in a book club or playing games like chess, where you have to think a little bit more. You can also participate in our church activities, so serving at a church committee or volunteering at church or at other places. Remember, it's important to stay connected with your family and friends regularly. Participating in social activities have its benefits as well. These activities can improve your physical and psychological well-being, improve your quality of life, your self-esteem, and increased social interaction can also help reduce your loneliness. If it's more of a physical, social activity, it can also help you reach your exercise goals. The fifth strategy I want to talk about is focusing on quality sleep. Now, older adults need the same 7 to 9 hours of sleep as all adults, but they often don't get that much sleep because of a variety of reasons. Usually it's because of certain medical conditions, pain, or because of their medications. But there are strategies that you can focus on that can help improve your sleep. For example, having a good bedtime routine. So try to go to sleep and wake up around the same time every day and set up a regular routine. Make sure you have a good sleep hygiene. So avoiding screen distractions like your cell phone, computers, or the TV before you go to sleep. Try to turn off the lights or use a night light in your bedroom, and keep it as quiet as possible in your bedroom. Try to avoid long naps that are greater than 30 minutes in late afternoons or early evenings, and avoid eating large meals, caffeine, or alcohol too late in the day. Regular exercise can also help with your sleep as well, but don't exercise within 3 hours of your bedtime. Now, if you're doing all these different strategies and you're still having a hard time with sleep, consider asking your doctor to see if you need to be assessed for sleep disorders. Sleep disorders like obstructive sleep apnea is very common in the elderly and can impact your sleep without treatment. Quality sleep also have a number of benefits. It's been shown to help improve memory and concentration. In fact, there are some animal studies that show poor sleep can actually lead up a buildup of amyloid proteins that are found in Alzheimer's dementia. Quality sleep can also improve your mood and lower the risk for cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, and diabetes. The sixth strategy I want to talk about is doing cognitive exercises. We also consider them like brain exercises for brain fitness. This is how you think, learn, and remember. So it's important for older adults to stay mentally active and intellectually engaged. Your brain loves these type of activities like reading a book or a newspaper, doing a crossword puzzle or word search or Sudoku. These are all kind of activities that can keep you more mentally engaged. You can also learn new challenges like learning new skills or advancing your education. So learning a new language, a new instrument, a new craft, or a new hobby. These are all ways you can boost your mental fitness. Doing paid work or volunteer work, these is also great for older adults because they combine some cognitive and social stimulation in the work. There are also apps and computer games out there. Some of the ones you might have heard about, Lumosity and Bring HQ. You might have seen advertised for them on TV. There's actually no conclusive evidence to show that these apps or computer-based games are truly beneficial, but they're still being studied, and they're very easy to access, and you may find them fun to use. Some of the cognitive exercise benefits have shown to improve cognitive functioning. The idea is that when you do these type of exercises, you can build up your cognitive reserve. You're kind of strengthening the circuits in your brain so that if you do get sick, your brain has enough reserve to compensate for these changes. Research studies also show that these kind of cognitive training can improve your memories and also increase your visual and auditory processing speed. Now, the research evidence for these cognitive exercises are still not as robust or clear as for physical exercises. So if an older adult, if you want to improve your memory or cognitive functions, focus on physical exercises first. And then if you can, add in some mentally stimulating activities in the mix as well. The seventh and the last strategy I will talk about is to focus on skincare. As we talked about, the skin changes with aging and also can have damages from the sun over time, and skin cancer can be common in the elderly. So it's still a good idea for older adults to go outside and to have activities outdoors, but just try to limit the sun exposure, especially during peak times when the sun rays are the strongest. Also, when you're outside, remember to wear protective clothing. Consider wearing a hat or sunglasses. Remember to use your sunscreen. Use SPF at least 30 plus and reapply every 2 hours. It's also important to keep your skin moisturized as the skin naturally gets drier as we age. So remember to use your moisturizer throughout the day. Generally, the creams and ointments are stronger than the lotions. Remember to apply also after you shower, as the water can dry up your skin. Also remember to check your skin for any changes regularly. There are many skin changes in our elderly that are benign and harmless, but there are also changes that you need to see the doctors for if you're not sure what it is. These are some examples of skin changes that can happen in the elderly. I just wanted to give you a few examples I found online. So in the first picture on the top, you can see these type of brown, kind of warty lesions that are stuck on the skin. This is what we call seborrheic keratosis. They're very common in the elderly. They're totally harmless. They're benign. Sometimes I refer to them as wisdom spots because they're found in our elderly people. They're not warts. They look like warts, but they're not. In the second picture, it's kind of hard to see. They're very indistinct lesions in the skin. The way to find them is when you palpate or when you touch your skin, it feels like sandpaper. This is a condition called actinic keratosis. It's actually a precancerous lesion that can turn into squamous cell cancer, skin cancer, and it needs to be treated early. In the third picture on the bottom, it looks like an ulcer with a pearly margin or border. This is a basal cell carcinoma, and it's the most common type of skin cancer. Usually we consider it as an ulcer that's not healing, and that also needs treatment. In the last picture, you can see kind of a mole that's irregular shape and with irregular colors. This is a melanoma, and it needs to be treated by the doctor. Now, if this person with all these different skin lesions have had regular sun protection when they're younger, they could have reduced the risk for all of these different skin lesions, especially the skin cancers. This is a summary slide of all the 7 different strategies I talked about. So first and most important, remember to exercise regularly. That includes both aerobic exercises and your muscle strengthening or your anaerobic exercises. Second, remember to eat a healthy, balanced diet from all the different food groups. Third, focus on your mental wellness. Try to improve your mental health. Fourth, remember to stay connected socially with your family, your friends, and your community. And fifth, make sure you're getting quality sleep at night and try different strategies to help you get that good sleep. And sixth, make sure you're staying mentally active through different activities that keeps you mentally alert and active. Seventh, remember to protect your skin and make sure you're using some protective sunscreens or protective clothing. In the last section, I'll be talking about regular health screenings. Going to the doctor for regular health screening is very essential for healthy aging. And getting regular checkups, at least yearly, can help catch chronic diseases early and to help you reduce your risk for the diseases. This is a list of recommendations from the U.S. Preventative Service Task Force. I'll be focusing on a few of the screening recommendations for older adults. So first, I want to talk about breast cancer screening. It's recommended for women aged 50 to 74 years old to get biannual, that's every other year, screening mammography. Your doctor may recommend more frequent screening depending on your personal histories. If you have a history of breast cancer or a family history of breast cancer, you may need the screening to start earlier and more frequently. Again, that's something you need to discuss with your doctor. Second, for cervical cancer screening, it's recommended for women aged 21 to 65 years old. Usually it's through a pap smear every 3 years or every 5 years with HPV testing with a pap smear. Third, the colorectal cancer screening. This actually has been a change in guidelines last year. They lowered the screening age to 45 years old. It used to be 50 years old. For the 45 to 49 years old, the colorectal cancer screening is level B evidence, meaning that is still recommended with a fair level of evidence. And then for adults 50 years old and older, it's level A evidence, meaning it's strongest evidence. But regardless, we recommend screening starting at age 45, unless, again, you have a history of cancer or family history of colorectal cancer. And you can get the screening through a stool-based study. That would be a yearly stool-based test, or a colonoscopy, which is considered a gold standard. For lung cancer screening, it's recommended for adults aged 50 to 80 years old who have a 20-pack year smoking history, who currently still smokes or have quit within the last 15 years. And it's recommended for them to get annual screening with a low-dose CT chest to screen for any early lung cancer. Abdominal aortic aneurysm screening, this one is not as well known. It's recommended for men aged 65 to 75 years old who has ever smoked 100 or more cigarettes in their lifetime. And it's just a one-time abdominal ultrasound screening to assess for aneurysm. Osteoporosis screening recommended for postmenopausal women who are younger than 65 who is at increased risk, or women who are 65 years old or older. It's recommended for them to get bone density testing. Next, I also wanted to recommend a few of the CDC recommended adult vaccines. I'll be focusing on 4 main vaccines that are recommended for older adults. So the first one on the top, it's a little bit hard to see, is the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine is an annual vaccine, and I know the flu vaccine this year is already out, so be sure to get it soon. The flu vaccine is recommended for all adults annually, especially for older adults, because flu can affect them more and they can have more symptoms and complications from the flu. The second vaccine is a Tdap vaccine. So even for older adults, they still need to get their booster every 10 years. The third vaccine is the zoster, or the shingles vaccine. This vaccine is recommended for all older adults age 50 or older. It's a 2-dose shot series, and it helps prevent shingles or complications from shingles. And the last one is a pneumococcal vaccine. It's recommended for all older adults older than 65. And you can either get a 1 dose of the PCV 15 followed by PPSV 23, or just 1 dose of the PCV 20. As we're talking about vaccines, I also have to talk about the COVID-19 vaccines. As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected our older adult population disproportionately, and the older adults suffer more complications from COVID-19. So for all adults, we recommend getting the COVID-19 vaccines. That includes a primary series, those are 2 shots of the monovalent vaccines, and then getting booster shots after that as well. There's a new bivalent booster that you might have heard about. The bivalent meaning they contain a string of virus from the original SARS-CoV virus, and they contain the new string from Omicron virus as well. That's why it's called bivalent. And if your last booster or COVID vaccine is more than 2 months ago, it's recommended for you to get this bivalent booster shot now. All right, so some of my key takeaways. First, aging affects our body at many different levels. Second, there are lifestyle strategies that you can do that can help you age healthier. And third, make sure you're going to your doctor regularly for the recommended screening and vaccinations. Now I'm happy to take any questions, or we can move on to the panel.